Today in this video we'll talk about macro quoting functions. Okay, previous video I have explained you about macro functions. That is different. We have learned 10 macro functions, right? And here in this video we'll talk about macro quoting functions. Okay, it is basically categorized into two types: compilation functions, execution functions. Okay, so in compilation functions we have percentage str, percentage nrstr. Okay, so here in execution functions we have percentage bquote, percentage superq. Q is nothing but quote. Okay, so first we'll talk about compilation functions. Okay, compilation functions used for static masking. Okay, and it masks special characters during macro compilation phase. Okay, and the prevents macro triggers. First we'll talk about percentage str. Okay, it is used to mask all the special characters like commas, semicolon, unmatched parentheses, unmatched quotation marks. Okay, so it masks all special characters except percentage and percent. Okay, now next is nothing but percentage nrstr function. So percentage nrstr function is used to mask only percentage and percent. Here it is excluding this, so here we will not use this, but here it masks only percentage and ampersand. Okay, next is nothing but execution function. In interview they might ask you the difference between compilation functions and execution functions, means you have to say. So compilation function is used for static masking. Okay, execution function is used for dynamic masking. Here it masks special characters during compilation phase, it masks special characters during the execution phase. Okay, it prevents macro triggers, it allows for dynamic resolution of macro variables. Okay, so we will talk about percentage bquote. Okay, it is similar to the percentage str. Okay, whatever from here to here is there, I have written same here. There is no change, but one difference is there. It does. Okay, it exclude percentage and percent. Here it will include this percentage and percent here. Clear? Next, so here you can see percentage superq to mask only percentage and ampersand. Percentage nrstr to mask only percentage and ampersand. Both are same, but this is compilation. Okay, this is execution. So while executing we use this. Okay, while compiling we use this. Clear? So now difference between percentage str and percentage bquote. Percentage str, okay, masks special characters during compilation phase, it masks special characters during execution phase. Okay, so here it does not resolve macro variables, it resolves macro variables, used for static text, used for dynamic text. So this question they definitely ask. Okay, you have to give this answer, it's enough. First we will talk about compilation function. What is the first function? str. We will talk about percentage str. So first percentage let company is equals to Novartis semicolon, then percentage put. What is my macro variable? This one. So I'm pasting here. You have to give and percent here. Okay, each and every macro variable prefix with and percent semicolon. So when I execute, in the output what it will display? Novartis. No, my company name is Novartis. When I execute, it will display in the log window Novartis. Clear? This is a simple code. I am copying the same here, and here I am giving one apostrophe. Again I am removing. You just see this percentage put here. Concentrate on this. Okay, when I am giving apostrophe here, it is becoming black in color. You can see When I am removing this, it is showing in blue color. So when we use unmatched quotation, this is nothing but unmatched quotation. Okay, when we use unmatched quotation, we are unable to see this in blue color. So when I execute this, okay, now my company name is Novartis. When I execute this, what it will display? It is not showing me the output. Here it is displaying Novartis. First code is done, but my second code, in my second code I want to get this Novartis, right? But here we are unable to see. So for that, so when there is unmatched quotation, we will use percentage. What we will use? Percentage str function here. Okay, and then open parenthesis, then close this parenthesis. Clear? Before this unmatched quotation, we have to give percentage. What we have to give? Percentage. When I execute this, you can see Novartis is displayed successfully right now. When there is semicolon, will it display? No. Novartis. Till Novartis only it will display when there is a semicolon. Till here only it will access. Till here only it will work. Okay. So before semicolon only whatever is there it will work. After this semicolon it will not give you the result. Clear? So for that you have to use what we have to use. Give open parenthesis and close parenthesis, and you have to give percentage str. So when I execute this, so in macros how we will do this? Nothing but I'm copying the same code here. In macros how to do this? So macro begins with the percentage macro, and I'm giving macro name as test. Okay, semicolon, m end. Macro ends with percentage m end. So here I'm pasting the code. Okay, percentage test semicolon. So when I execute this, you can see Novartis here. Clear? I'm copying the same thing and I'm pasting here. Okay, now you can see this is my code here. So company I have given like this. So when I execute this, till which letter it will display? It will display till F or C. Will it display ABC or all this thing? When I execute like this, I am not using any percentage str here. So when I execute here, it shows an error, statement is not valid, or it is used out of proper order. So till ABC only it will display, because when there is a semicolon, okay, it will display preceding one only. So for that we will use the percentage str function and open parenthesis till I want F. Okay, when I execute this, now it will display entire company name. Clear? So this is about the percentage str. Okay, I'm copying the same thing here. Now we will talk about the percentage nrstr. Okay, now we'll talk about nrstr function. Okay, so here my company name I'm giving as a ABC percentage DEF. Okay, and percent GHI. Okay, so this is my company name. So here what you can see here, you can see percentage and percent. Okay, so when I execute this, will it give you the result or not? It will show you like this: apparent symbolic reference GHI not resolved. Okay, so for that percentage str will not work out. See here, I'm using str only, percentage str function only. Okay, when I execute this, it will show you like this only. So percentage str will not work out here. So for that we have to use percentage nrstr. In this case, percentage nrstr will work out. Okay, so when I execute this, when there is a percentage and percent, nrstr will work. So when I execute this, here it is displaying Okay, here you can see this is my company name without any warnings, errors. It has displayed like this. Clear? So this is about nrstr and str. So I'm giving one task right now. Now you have to say which we have to use, str or nstr. Okay, percentage let print is equals to proc print data is equals to my data set name is sashelp.class semicolon run semicolon. Here only I'm giving. Okay, then and percent, then percentage put and percent print semicolon. So percentage let print is my macro variable and I'm using percentage put and percent print. Till here it's clear. So after is equal to I have used this proc print data is equals to sashelp.class semicolon run semicolon. So what you can see semicolons here. Two semicolons are there here. So in my output, if I execute this, okay, what it will display in my log window, till class or entire thing? Till class only it will display, because before semicolon only whatever the data is there it will display that only. So when I execute here in my log window, you can see proc print data is equals to sashelp.class. I want run semicolon as well. No, I want this semicolon. Okay, I want semicolon as well as run also. For that what we have to use, str or nstr? You have to give me the answer. Pause this video and try to give the answer or comment below. So how to do this? Percentage str only we should use and open parenthesis till run semicolon I want, right? So till run I want, so give the parenthesis, close parenthesis here, give close parenthesis here. When I execute this, you can see proc print data is equals to sashelp.class semicolon run. Okay, so I want to display the output as well. So for that I'll copy this, okay, and you have to give and person print semicolon. So when I execute this, you can see the output. Okay, we can display the output by using and percent print. Okay, get the result of this we have to use and percent print here. Clear? So next, now let me know one more task I'm giving. Percentage let company is equals to L and percent T semicolon and percentage put and percent company semicolon. So my company name is L and percent T. So when I execute this, by default it will display. So this and percent T is not my macro variable name. This is my company name. From here to here this is my company name. So and percent T is not my macro variable. So when I execute this, what it will show you here is nothing but it gives you a warning that T not resolved. So for that, which function we will use? I want to display company name, entire company name. Which function we have to use? So which function we will use? Percentage nrstr or percentage str? Which function we have to use for this? When there is an %, which function we will use? nrstr. So open parenthesis, give open parenthesis and close parenthesis here. When I execute this in the log window, you can see the L and %. Okay, and one more I am giving here. See here, percentage let macro is equals to my macro name is percentage test. Okay, semicolon percentage put and percent mac semicolon. So when I execute this, so my macro is from here to here. Okay, but it will assume that percentage test is a macro variable name. So when I execute, by default it will show you here in the log window my macro name is only, till is only it will display. This percentage test it will not display. So for that what we have to use? Percentage when there is percentage or and percent, which function we have to use? Percentage nrstr function we have to use. So when I execute this, it will give you the entire macro here. You can see the macro name is percentage test. The macro name is percentage test. Percentage bquote function used during execution phase only. So here percentage macro begins with percentage macro, and I'm giving macro variable name as ABC. Okay, then in the parenthesis I'm defining a parameter data class semicolon set SAS help dot class semicolon where age in and percent value. Okay, here L. Okay, and percent value semicolon run semicolon proc print data proc print data is equals to my data set name is class semicolon run semicolon, and macro ends with percentage MENT, percentage macro end, then semicolon. Here what is my macro variable? ABC, right? Then percentage ABC. Here I am defining one parameter only. I want to pass three values, that is nothing but here percentage let M value is equals to 13, 15, 16 semicolon. Okay, so here I am taking three values. I want to pass this three value. What is my macro variable name? M value, right? So here and percent M value we have to give, then semicolon. But when I execute this, okay, when I execute this, what it will display? It is showing an error. Okay, that statement is not valid. Okay, in a proper order. Okay, so for this, which function we have to use? Percentage bquote function we have to use. Okay, I want to mask this commas, so for that we will use this percentage bquote function. Okay, here open parenthesis and this close parenthesis, and here also we have to give one open parenthesis and one close parenthesis. When I execute this, you can see the output here: 13 age, 15 and 16 age. Okay, you can see the output here. We have displayed three values, okay, that are nothing but 13, okay, 15 and 16 in our output. When we want to mask this comma values, we will use this bquote function. Okay, we will use this bquote function. By using bquote function, we can mask commas, semicolon, okay, unmatched quotation. Okay, we will talk about now superq. Here data underscore null underscore, I am not deriving any data set here. Call simput macro name m name comma, I'm giving my macro name as L and percent T. Okay, semicolon. Okay, L and percent T, I am assigning this value to the my macro, okay, variable. Run semicolon percentage put and percent m name. My macro variable name is m name, right? That only I will give. When I submit this one, when I execute this one, it is giving a warning here, apparent sibling reference T not resolved. So when there is ampersand, when there is percentage in execution phase, we will use this percentage superq. When we use this ampersand, it is treated as a macro variable. Okay, we have to use this superq function here. So I am pasting here, then open parenthesis here, give the close parenthesis. So when I execute this, just a minute, we have to remove this ampersand. Okay, so when I execute this, you can see L ampersand T. Okay, you can see the result here. So this is about the superq function. You can see the questions of macro quoting functions here. So first question is, what is the purpose of macro quoting functions in SAS? What is the purpose of macro quoting? It is broadly categorized into two types. That is nothing but compilation functions and another is execution functions, right? So you have to briefly explain about it, and it is mainly used, this macro coding functions is mainly used to mask special characters in macro code. First thing you have to say this, and then you have to explain briefly about compilation function and execution functions, whatever I have explained you in the notes. Okay, next is difference between compilation functions and execution functions in macro. I have explained you the difference between compilation function and execution functions, right? And difference between percentage str, percentage bquote, and difference between percentage nrstr and percentage superq. Okay, it is used during compilation phase, it is used during execution phase, you have to say. Next, difference between percentage str, percentage nrstr. Okay, next is, how do macro quoting functions help prevent errors in macro code? Okay, it masks the special characters. Okay, reduces the errors. Okay, suppose you have a macro variable containing special characters. How would you use macro quoting functions? I use either percentage str or percentage bquote. Okay, depending upon the situation I'll use, you have to say. So these are the questions, interview questions on macro quoting functions. So we done with macro functions and macro quoting functions. Okay.